Game Kings, The Definition of Game documentary coming soon. Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So, I want to do this video right here because I got a comment from a subscriber, QB Willie B. Shout out to you. Appreciate the comments you be dropping. And I like when you guys leave, comments where you're actually talking about the video, and you know what I mean? Because I'll be having a lot of troll comments and I just got to delete those. But my dude QB Willie B, I wanted to address some stuff that he said, and I responded to him, and I wanted to break down what's going on in this in these comments. Right now, this isn't like me getting at you or whatever. I just want to break down what's going on. And the thing is, and what I'm noticing in these comments, and what I see a lot of times that guys do, is that a lot of guys think like a trick when it comes to this game. You understand what I'm saying? And so this is what some of these comments sort of remind me of when I'm reading this. So I'm gonna read these comments and I'm gonna get into the video, right? So I did a video the other day where I was talking about, I think it was the one, 5 ways men cope with being lonely and not being able to attract women. And so QB Willie B, he made a comment. He said, "This video has me somewhat laughing. Locario, there is nothing wrong with a man going celibate, taking a pussy timeout to better yourself as a man. Of course, you are not going to preach that. Men don't have to deal with women in the States, hence #passports. Of course, you are not going to preach that. And when it comes to tricking, all men pay, including yourself. Let's be 100%. You pay more money and time pursuing women, dates, nightclubs, texting, dating apps, etc., compared to tricking in countries where it's legal and bang the Instagram hottie without game, #facts. Now, I responded and I said, why do you have to go on a pussy break to better yourself as a man? I said, bettering yourself as a man and dealing with women isn't mutually exclusive. Tricking is directly paying for sex. If you go in a nightclub and meet a woman and have a conversation with her and she has sex with you that night, that isn't tricking. Tricking is going in the club and giving the woman money in hand to have sex with you. A woman fucking you for money isn't the same as a woman fucking you because she has a desire for you. This is why I'm supposed to write can't, but I wrote can. This is why you can't equate that to tricking." So then QB Willie B responds and he says, "It's called self-discipline. Women are always going to be there. So what's wrong with a man taking time out for a few months or maybe a year to position himself to win in life, not just with women? Now, meeting a girl and having I guess he's saying sex with her that night isn't tricking. I will give you credit on that. But let's analyze this a bit further. If you want to take down an 8 or higher, most of the time it would have to be a high-end nightclub, meaning cover charge to get in. No problem, especially if you got it. You meet a girl, have a few drinks in the establishment, then most likely you eat and Uber it back to your place or a telly. That's going to run you at least $200 to $250 plus a night. Now, we all know we don't always have sex with the girl the first night, correct, Mr. Locario? So if you don't have a one-night stand, and most likely you'll have to go out 3 or 4 times within a week period unless you go somewhere special like Vegas or Miami. As a result, you spend all that money and time clubbing / dating, when instead you rack up and take a sexcation and have 10 times better experience. As a dating coach, I get that you won't tell men to passport it up, I guess. Now, if you trick, you're still accomplishing your goal by getting your nuts off. So her desire is irrelevant as long as your desire is accomplished. All right, so let's break all this down, man. There's a lot of good shit in here that I want to talk about. There's a lot of good shit. And I appreciate the comment, bro. So, First of all, I want to address this thing where, you know, this pussy timeout thing. Because he said, there's nothing wrong with a man going celibate, taking a pussy timeout to better yourself as a man, right? And I'm saying, why do you need to have a pussy break or a pussy timeout or whatever to better yourself as a man, right? See, this is the thing that most guys think. They think either, you have to focus on your purpose and work and do your stuff, or you have to fuck with women, but you can't do both. You understand? This is what guys think. They think you can't do both. They think that it's going to be hard or impossible for you to really get on your grind and do your thing if you're fucking with chicks. You understand what I'm saying? See, what happens is that a lot of guys, they say this, but it's really more of an excuse as to say, well, I'm not really trying to mess with the chicks now because I'm focusing on this. But it's more of an excuse to not have to fuck with the chicks or have to deal with fucking with chicks. So that you can always say, well, I'm kind of focusing on this stuff. Because see, when I was coming up, right, and let me just break down the shit that I've done, right? So, like, I used to be a rap artist, right? I came out with at least maybe like, I don't know, 20 mixtapes in like a maybe 2 or 3 year span, right? I used to be an actor, so I've done like, short films, I've done reality shows, all this other stuff, right? All that time, I was also working an after school program. I worked at a gym. I had a bunch of other different jobs. And then I started, doing the coaching stuff, right? And with this, I've written 6 books. You understand? I've done shit like close to thousands of videos because I've had other YouTube channels that got taken down years ago. I've come up with, multiple different products, done, a bunch of lectures, all these other things, right? Now, I've done all of this stuff, and while I was doing this, I was always fucking with chicks. The whole time. I've never taken a break off of fucking with chicks. Now, again, I'm not saying you guys shouldn't take a break. If you feel you need to take a break, that's cool. I'm not saying dudes shouldn't take a break. If that's how you feel you need to do it, that's cool. You feel me? You got to know yourself. You got to be aware of yourself, right? But what I'm saying is that when you have time management and you know how to move, you don't need to take a break because you know how to focus and when to focus. You understand? Like, all good business people know how to allocate their time and energy so they can get shit done. You see what I'm saying? So this is how you'll have people who, are able to like run multiple businesses, multitask, do all these things because they know how to, have time management. You feel what I'm saying? See, there was one time, at a time where I was doing all these things and I was fucking with at least, I think, 9 or 10 chicks at that time in my rotation. You feel what I'm saying? And still getting shit done. Right? So, when it comes to this thing where, guys feel like, well, I can't mess with girls. If I'm going to do this, then you just don't have time management skills. You feel what I'm saying? Because there should be no reason, if that's the case where you need to, take off all this time, there should be no reason I've accomplished the things that I've accomplished. You understand what I'm saying? Over the years when I've been fucking with chicks the whole time. You understand? Like, I've been fucking with chicks since I was like, maybe 14, 15 years old, like that. You understand? Like, really, really going in. And so there hasn't been a week that has gone by where I just haven't really done it. You feel what I'm saying? You understand? Like, there was actually a week, a few weeks ago that I was like, let me take a break this week and then I still ended up fucking because, you know, it's like once you start fucking with a bunch of chicks and your game is on point, shit just be, the universe just be throwing shit at you. It's weird, but I have to do a whole another video on that. But anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out, where if you feel you need to take a break, do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying you shouldn't. But what I'm saying is that I don't want guys to have the mentality to think that it's impossible or you have to take a break in order to, you know, better yourself as a man. Because truthfully, when you look at it that way, what you're saying is that women are such a powerful force in your, you know, world that you're not strong enough to manage or deal with them while you're trying to make shit happen for you. You know what I'm saying? Or while you're trying to do what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? That's taking chicks way too seriously when you're making it to there where you feel like, you know, you need to like take a break from it in that situation. Now, this is the thing I would say though. This is you know, the exception to that. What I would say is that when it comes to dealing with women, you may need to take a break because of on an emotional level, meaning like there's certain types of energies that come with dealing with women, right? But when it comes to you actually achieving your goals, when it comes to you, you know, getting shit done and all this other stuff, a woman shouldn't necessarily be a distraction to that. You feel what I'm saying? Regardless, no matter what, you understand? Like the shit gonna get done, period. So I just want to, you know, point that out. Now, we talking about this, you know, trick and stuff. So he says, you know, men don't have to deal with women in the States. #passports. Okay, so the whole passport thing, you know, that's cool if dudes want to go and go overseas and, you know, do other shit and travel and get with other chicks. That's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But see, what I want guys to understand is you don't want to have a tricking mentality though. Because he said, and when it comes to tricking, all men pay, including yourself. No, I do not. You know what I'm saying? No, I do not. You said, let's be 100. You say you pay more money and time pursuing dates, nightclubs, texting, dating apps, etc. Right? Now, see, this is the thing. Tricking means, right? You're paying money. Okay? You're paying money. Right? It's not about you putting in time. So, the thing is this, is that when you're paying for sex, right? You cheat yourself because you don't develop this skill that can give you long-term benefits when it comes to the game. You understand? Because you don't develop the skill to be that attractive man. Right? Because you're trying to cheat the system. Because you're not learning anything. You're not learning the skill that's going to make you reap the benefits. Just like I said earlier, where I was like how, you know, when I you know, tried to take a break that week, and I basically got pussy thrown at me. Why? Because I developed this skill, and this skill made me into an attractive man, which creates the situation where more women want to fuck with me. So that I don't have to pay for pussy. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't have to give any money. Because the women want to fuck me, period. Do you understand? This is why I try to teach you guys that when you learning game makes you more attractive, which makes women want to have sex with you, which makes you in a position where you don't have to pay. Because if I'm in a park, right, giving out free water, and then there's a guy standing next to me, you know, selling water for $5 a bottle, which one you going to take? You going to buy the $5 bottle of water, or you going to take the free water? You understand? You'll take the free water every time. Why? Because you have access to it. You can get it. But if when you can't get it, you'll pay for it. You see what I'm saying? But let me go through this thing where I was saying that, you know, dudes, you know, they have this like tricking mentality because, you know, you're saying that, you know, you're paying for dates, you're paying for nightclub stuff and all of this other stuff. And when we talk about the desire, because he said, well, you know, if you trick, you're still accomplishing your goal by getting your nut. So her desire for you is irrelevant because your desire is accomplished. That's what he's saying. He's saying basically that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're tricking because you're still going to get your nut, right? And it doesn't matter if she desires you because you're still going to get your nut. See, what happens is this: when you're actually having sex with a woman who wants to have sex with you, it's a different thing than you're paying a woman to have sex with you. It's night and day. You know what I'm saying? It's two different things. See, I can get my nut by beating off. You understand what I'm saying? But see, part of what makes the sex activity an experience interesting and fun and just an overall good experience to have is when you stick your dick in a chick and you see her face. You understand what I'm saying? You see her do that O face. You understand? See, part of what makes the sexual experience, you know, exciting is the ego. You understand what I'm saying? Is knowing and seeing that the chick you're fucking with submitted to you. You understand? See, when you're paying, when you're tricking, she's submitting to the money. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that. She's submitted to the money. See, when she's submitting to you, she's submitting to your game, your skill, your strategy. She's submitting to that. Something that was created within you. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the difference. So, yeah, you're getting your nut, but I can get my nut by watching porn and jerking off. But I'd rather get my nut by a chick sucking me off who actually wants to suck me off. You feel what I'm saying? But, you know, again, it all depends on the guy, because some guys don't give a fuck. They're just like, I just want to get my nut, you know, and that's that. But what I really wanted to dive deep into this is this paragraph where he said, but let's analyze this a bit further. If you want to take down an 8 or higher, most of the time you would have to go to a high-end nightclub, meaning cover charge to get in, right? You do not need to go to a high-end nightclub in order to get an 8 or higher. You feel what I'm saying? You do not need to do this. The other day I was at a freaking rooftop lounge that I got into for free. You understand what I'm saying? And there was 8s, 9s, and 10s all over the place. Right? And you know, it all depends on your location, where you live. I understand that. But you can find 8s, 9s, and 10s at the mall. You understand? You can find 8s, 9s, and 10s at the grocery store. You don't need to necessarily go to a high-end nightclub to find these chicks. And I guess, you know, he's talking about nightclub because we were talking about the club in the comments. But I just wanted to extend that. And then he says, you meet a girl, have a few drinks in the establishment, then most likely you eat and Uber it back to your place or a telly. Now, why do you have to have a few drinks in the nightclub? Why do you have to go and eat after that? You understand what I'm saying? Why do you have to do all of that? You understand? And also, if you're Ubering it to your place or a telly, right? If you're going to a hotel, why do you have to pay for everything? You understand what I'm saying? Now, there's times where I've, you know, like paid for hotels and all this other shit. But you don't have to, because there's times where I didn't. You understand what I'm saying? And so also what it is that you paying for the hotel, or you paying, let's say you do pay to get a drink and all this other stuff at, you know, at the bar for yourself, and you hanging out and all this other stuff, you're still not directly paying for sex. See, this is the thing. Guys like to lump in you paying for anything to mean you're also tricking. You're paying for sex. Is not the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? This is how guys like to justify their tricking. You understand? It's the same thing as saying, well, you got your bachelor's degree, and I just paid for this fake bachelor's degree. You're still paying for the bachelor's degree because you got to pay tuition for your bachelor's degree, and I paid for this fake one right here. No, it's not the same shit. Because when I get hired for the job, and when you get hired for the job, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you're not going to last. You understand what I'm saying? That's the difference. When you're fucking a girl because you're paying for it, and when I'm fucking a girl because I didn't give her any money, she's going to fuck me better than she fucks you. I'm going to have a better experience than you're going to have, period. You're eating McDonald's, I'm eating filet mignon. You understand what I'm saying? It's two different things. I do not like when guys try to equate the tricking and actually doing regular shit, everyday shit in real life, you know what I'm saying, to the tricking. And this is the thing. In those situations, you have the option not to pay. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have the option not to. So you said you meet a girl and you have a few drinks in an establishment. You don't have to have any drinks in an establishment. There's times where I went into bars, clubs, and all that other stuff. I go up to the bar and say, yo, let me get a water, a glass of water. This nigga give me a water. I'm chilling. I'm hanging out. I'm talking to the chicks. You understand what I'm saying? And then we bounce. You understand? Then you say the most likely you're going to eat. You don't got to go eat. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't got to go eat. Then you say Uber back to your place or the telly. Right? You don't have to go to a telly if you got your place. And if you do go to the telly, again, you can get her to pay for it. There's situations where I've been in where I told the chick, listen, I know this spot around so-and-so. We can have some fun, but it's on you. You feel what I'm saying? And she's like, cool. You feel what I mean? I be in situations where I'm at a bar and I'm talking to a chick. She's the one buying me the damn drink. You understand what I'm saying? So you said that's going to run you 200 to 250 plus, a night. Again, that's your choice to be paying that because you feel you need to pay that in order to get women. This is what I'm saying, where it's that trick mentality. So then he says, now we all know we don't have, we always don't have sex with a girl on the first night. That is true. You don't always have sex with a girl on the first night that you fuck with them. So then you said, so if you have a one night stand, it's most likely you have to go out 3 or 4 times within the week, unless you go somewhere special like Vegas or Miami, right? Now, let's say you meet a girl, right? At the bar, y'all talking, let's say y'all kissing or whatever, but you don't get to hit that night, right? So you can get her number, and let's say you didn't spend no money on this chick. You just rolled up on her at the bar, having a conversation. You sipping on your water. You feel what I'm saying? And you having a conversation where y'all talking. Let's say y'all start kissing. Let's say she's you trying to smash the night, but she's for whatever reason. Oh, I can't because this and that, whatever. Right? All right, cool. Let me get your information. Right? You hit her up. And when you hit her up, you say, hey, listen, what you up to tonight? She's like, oh, I'm just chilling. Well, why don't you come over to the spot so we could continue what we was doing the other night? And then she's like, cool, she comes to your spot. How much money you paid? How much money you paid? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how much money are you paying? This is what I'm trying to say. Like, you don't have to do it. But a lot of times is that you feel like you have to because you have the trick mentality. See, a lot of dudes haven't been in situations where they've had women pay for shit for them. You understand? They haven't been in situations where they had women, buy them dinner, take them out, buy them gifts, buy them presents, do all this other shit. They've never been in that situation. They feel like they have to be the one, the guy feels like he has to be the one to be pushing out all of this money and all of this, shit like that. And I'm saying you don't need to do it. Right? And then so he says, as a result, you spend all that money and time clubbing / dating. when instead you rack up and take a sexcation and have 10 times better experiences as a dating coach. I get that you won't tell men to passport it up. Again, like I said, if you want to do the passport thing and go travel, go do that. I'm not telling you to not do that. What I'm saying is stop having the trick mentality. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's like dudes forget that women like dick. You understand? If you feel like you need to shell out money and do all this extravagant shit, that's on you. You understand? I talked about times where I'm at an event, just chilling, hanging out, whatever. I roll up on this chick. We talking for about like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then we out. I ain't spend no money. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of times, you know, I'm talking to a chick. I go back to her spot. She's getting the Uber. We going back to her spot. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, where when you feel like, look, when you feel like you have to put out this money in order to get access to women, that's a trick mentality. You understand? And then that's how you're going to operate 95% of the time. Because it becomes the norm for you. It becomes the reality for you. Your reality becomes you can't get women or you can't deal with women unless you put out money. So what happens is that it actually makes sense to you to just trick. You understand? Follow me here. Follow me here, because it makes more sense for you to trick, because in your mind, in order to get women, you have to put out money. So, yeah, I would, you know, it actually would make sense for you to trick, because, and when I say you, I'm talking about all you guys who think this way, is because if I feel like, well, the only way for me to get a girl is to go out on a bunch of dates or spend money at the bar, or, you know, spend a bunch of money to get a hotel and Uber rides and eat a lot of food and all this other stuff. If I got to do all of this, why don't I just give the chick the money, or go to where, you know, prostitution is legal and just pay a hoe to fuck me instead of going through the song and dance? You see what I'm saying? Because your mentality is that there's no way, or it's damn near impossible, to just have sex with women without spending a lot of money, or without spending money, period. You understand what I'm saying? So if that's your mentality, then of course it makes sense to just say, well, why don't I just trick? You see what I mean? Because in your thought, in your mind, it's impossible to get pussy without spending money. You see what I'm saying? That's how, see, this is how your mind starts to work. Your mind starts to tell you, listen, it's impossible to fuck chicks without spending no dough. So, nigga, just go and fucking save up your money, go get your passport, go take a plane ride to Dominican Republic, Brazil, or Amsterdam, or whatever, and just fuck these hoes. Like, why are you wasting time, you know, going on dates and spending money on dinners and drinks and all this other extra shit when you could just go straight to the pussy? I get it. That shit makes sense to me. Trust me, it makes sense to me. I feel you on that. But again, the reason why it's making sense is because you at first think that in order to get women, or in order to deal with women, period, you have to have money involved. You understand what I'm saying? You feel like you have to have money involved. You understand? So you got to understand where that you know, mentality comes from. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's a psychological thing. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Because the thing is that when you have that mentality, right? Again, it's going to lead you to tricking, because tricking makes more sense in that situation. It does. You know what I mean? It makes perfect sense. But understand, the reason why it makes perfect sense is because you have the trick mentality already. So if you say, well, I got to pay for dates and I got to pay for all of this extra shit to get the pussy, and it, you know, that's the reality of it, then I might as well just go straight to the pussy. I get it.
Now, before you go, make sure you click the link below to get your free copy of the audio program, Undeniable Game. This program is going to teach you 7 easy to follow tips on how to really attract beautiful women. In this audio program, you'll learn exactly what you need to do to become that confident man women are attracted to. You'll also learn what you must do to become better at approaching and talking to women. You'll learn why women don't return your calls and what to do to increase the chances of women returning your calls. You'll also learn the only time you should call or text a woman. You'll learn how to start conversations with women. You'll learn the mindset you must have to be successful with women. You'll also learn the main thing you need to do to figure out if a woman is really interested in you, and much more. So make sure you click the link below to get your copy today.